plastics reduction mascot. He represents the over 1 million marine animals killed every year due to plastic debris in the ocean. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll come back to Stuart later. I teach a 6th grade Global Perspectives class, and because of the autonomy one often enjoys as a teacher in an independent school, much of the curriculum is derived from my desire to uncover for my students real problems worth grappling with and solving. In his novel, Creating Cultures of Thinking, Ron Reichert said, to find the core of a school, don't look at its rule book or even its mission statement. Look at the way the people in it spend their time, how they grapple with ideas. VAIS challenges us to make space and reimagine learning time. So my guiding question is, if we don't equip our students with the ability to think critically and proactively about the global concerns of sustainability, who will? And while it is crucially important that we provide space to educate their minds, we must also open the window to allow light in that will reach and tug at their hearts and ultimately move them to action. We learned this. Currently, demand for oil is highest in the developed world, and America alone accounts for over 20% of the world's oil consumption. Though we are one of the top 3 oil producers in the world, we still consume double the amount of oil that we produce. We asked, how does America's consumption pattern impact the planet? And we noticed, consumption is growing worldwide. Increased population in the developing world means more consumers and greater demand for goods and resources. Most members of the consumer class would like to consume the way people in wealthy countries do. But this level of consumption creates 2 kinds of problems: pressure on finite resources and damage to the environment, including toxic waste and air pollution. Change is easy to say, but it is hard to do. Few of us really want to change because it's inconvenient to do so. Who will lead the change? Student leaders are needed, and it's time to harness their passions and talents to make their world better. To empower our students to grapple with sustainable ideas, we created a multidisciplinary unit focused on designing sustainable cities that reduce waste and harness renewable resources. They researched, calculated, constructed, and shared. The following year, our students looked closer to home by asking, what sustainable elements could our school use now and in the future? What renewable resources could we harness? And what do we throw away that we could reuse or refuse to use? So we dug deep, and we looked at ways to make our school more sustainable. We looked at landscaping, gardening and green roofs, energy efficiency, waste management, plastics reduction, horse poo composting, and food and water conservation. Because we provided them time to do something that really matters, they learn how to learn. Communicate, collaborate, problem solve, manage failure, achieve goals, and affect change in their community. Change makers must spread the word. So our students' sustainable models were on display, and they met with other grades to share their ideas. Their models correlated to a large 3D map that incorporated where those elements would be found on our campus or in our school building. They weren't done. They met with school leaders and explained their research, and many of their ideas were well received, and some were incorporated into our school's master plan. And their efforts won the Green Difference Award for outstanding commitment to green innovation. Now, back to Stuart. After learning that our school community consumed over 200,000 plastic spork and straw packets wrapped in plastic, our 5th and 6th graders joined forces during their service learning initiatives. Passionate students divided into 3 groups to research single-use plastics using one of 3 persuasive appeals: logic, statistics, and expert opinion; emotion, stories, images, and quotes that tug at the heart; and morals, what actions should we take? Again, our student leaders spread the word about the environmental impact of single-use plastics, the harm it causes to humans and animals, and the actions that we as an individual and community should take. They reminded us we must all be better stewards of the earth. Our activist students also worked to educate our local restaurants and their customer base, and they partnered with women entrepreneurs from India to manufacture our school's reusable bag. They are being the change they wish to see in the world. What our students know is not as vitally important as what they do with what they know. We need to make time to ask our students, what is something big and bold that you want to do with your life to make your world better? And then reassure them, we are here to help.